Now, you can outsource education by sending the student to the UK or to the US, okay? Or you can insource this by bringing the teacher in here, okay? But some businesses, it's impossible to outsource. Now, easy to outsource is pharmaceuticals. And, you move it there, whether usually a lot of pharmaceutical companies in the US or Switzerland or Britain, they outsource their pharmaceuticals to India. They make it cheaply in India, and then they sell it everywhere in the world. You can outsource production in Thailand, let's say for the cameras. When I talk camera, I mean the Nikon cameras, big, nice zoom in. They produce the lens only. And then you can just sell the lens or put it back into the camera. So you can outsource certain stuff. So outsourcing is best done for manufacturing. One of the biggest outsourcing operations in the world would be the iPhones, which are, they say, designed in California and manufactured in China. Again, my MacBook still says designed in California, made in China. This is all outsourcing. In outsourcing, you try to get, if you can, the cheaper labor. You try to get the cheaper other inputs. So instead of bringing in all the inputs here, you just move some of the capital, some of the knowledge, and whatever else, where the resources are already cheaper. Except in certain cases, like building a road is just impossible. Or making a haircut is a little trickier. Yeah, maybe you can fly to France, get your hair cut, and come back, but it doesn't work as well. All right, so let's see. And from here, you get what's called new international economies of scale. In order for a business to be globally competitive, you have to, as a business, enjoy international economies of scale. This means if you're manufacturing, you have to sell your cars in all foreign countries as you can. If you're manufacturing phones, you gotta sell them around the world. Apple, when they manufacture their phone and computers, they source the elements from 10, 15 different countries. When a car maker makes a car, they source from 10, 20, 30 different countries, different bits and pieces, and then they sell the cars to 20, 30, 40 different countries, okay? So you have to enjoy, it's called, well, let's just write it out. All of this section is about international economies of scale. International economies of scale applies to banking and finance, as in London was for over 100 years the financial capital of the world, where capital would flow from all over the world to London, and then it's going to go to other places. Then for 50 years or 70 years, New York was the financial capital of the world, okay? And now, again, you have international economies of scale. You have to attract a lot of capital from all over the world, and then you shuttle it back to other countries around the world. So, international economies of scale is for competitiveness. We call this in business global competitiveness. Let's see what else I have. Oh, and of course I was teaching here. Okay, I don't will not do the brain drain here. Brain drain, brain drain. You don't know what it is.
You don't want to.
Okay, you don't want to know what. Okay, last section is very straightforward. I'm running out of space here. logistics. Okay, let me see. Okay, I'll delete this part here. Eight. One of them was 8.6. This is 8.6 here. Now we got 8.7.
All the eights are coming in the exam, so in the midterm.
Yes, they should. Oh, but most of them is like the economies of scale are fairly straightforward. Okay, the insourcing and outsourcing is fairly straightforward. There is not much to say except explain one of the main sources of global competitiveness. And of course, the main sources of global competitiveness are insourcing, as sourcing inputs, and outsourcing. Again, basic business stuff. Next one will be logistics. And logistics simply means it's exactly the same. It's a new fancy word. I studied logistics in my last semester of my bachelor's degree, and we studied for about 3 weeks and said, okay, teacher, just slow down and tell me, you've been teaching us three weeks now logistics, just tell me what is logistics. Just explain what logistics means. Okay, so it's simply, again, simple is supply chain management. There's no T. Okay, supply chain management. So what's the supply chain management? It basically how you arrange and manage your sources of inputs. How you manage your inputs. Now, this supply chain management, again, as in over here, is a source of competitiveness. Source of competitive. This looks like a very good question for the midterm. Describe some sources of competitiveness. What is the goal? The goal is to manage more at a lower cost. We call it, black color haven't used for a while. Cost efficiency. All inputs are associated with costs and expenses. So here it's all about cost efficiency. How to manage all of your supply chain is all of your inputs more efficiently, but also supply chain includes the manufacturing process and then supplying your retailers, your customers. In other words, from inputs to outputs, managing from the raw materials all the way through production, through inventory, and then through supplying your retailers or customers. Okay, it's all at every step of the way. So, one reason today for this, number one, is computerized algorithms. Today there is plenty of software that can minimize, maximize, optimize, that can tell you what's the best, what's the fastest, and what not. The easiest example that I can provide, I don't know how many of you will use, but I, as a non-native, non-local, have to use all the time. With Google Maps, if I want to go from here to here, Google Maps tells me not simply which is the shortest, but which is the fastest. Because Google Map already knows at this point if there's a traffic jam, and it says this route is longer but it's 20 minutes quicker, or the shortest route is 20 minutes slower. Alright, so you got computerized algorithms to minimize. It's very easy to find the shortest distance. But now they know what's the traffic on each road and says, well, given that you have these 8 different routes, this route is the fastest, knowing the current conditions. Okay, that's massive improvement. Okay. Another thing, again, you'll be studying in other subjects is just-in-time inventory. Just-in-time inventory management, where you maintain minimum to no inventories, and as you need them, they arrive just in time. When I was studying this in 1992 and 93, 25 years ago, this was relatively new back then. The Japanese had invented it about 10 or so years earlier, but now it is well known and well. Another thing which comes up and makes this important is globalization.
Sir?
Yes?
I didn't understand the second one. What do you mean by just in time?
Just-in-time inventory is a special supply chain management technique where businesses maintain a minimum amount of inventories. Remember, inventories and holding inventories and spare parts is costly, it's expensive. And therefore, they maintain minimum amount of inputs as they need them. Let's say they say, we'll need them on Monday, they arrive on Monday. They don't keep inventory, okay? So this minimizes the cost of inventory, the cost of storage, okay? For example, think of the supermarket when the meat comes in, okay? You don't want to get a huge shipment of meat, then you gotta put it in a huge refrigerator. Refrigerator is big as a building, right? You store it there. The refrigerator's gotta keep cold around 0 in the heat of the desert. It's phenomenally expensive and huge management. What you want is some meat comes today, you sell it all today. Some meat comes tomorrow, you sell it all tomorrow. You don't need to maintain big refrigerators which are expensive. And the meat ages anyway. Even more important for vegetables. Most important for fruits, okay? These things spoil. But even if you have tires, they take space, okay? And space is costly, storage is costly, okay? So you want to maintain as a business, as any business, as little inventory as possible. Well, the Japanese perfected the technique to keep inventory practically, if they can, down to 0. As you need it, it comes in, okay? A lot of universities don't keep textbooks in storage. When the semester comes, they find out how many students enroll and say, okay, we have 22 students, all right, order 22 books. And the books come in 2 days, so it's not a big deal, it's not a big delay. But if the delay is 1 month or 2 months, that's unacceptable. Means you will have to have them in storage. Well, inventory, if you have it in storage, you gotta pay for it. And then you gotta store it. Let's see what else I have, so I'm done for today. Okay, well, that's good enough. Okay. I already said, for competitive advantage. All right, that's actually good enough. I only missed 8.8, so you don't need to prepare it now. You will have to learn it either in managerial accounting or you will study it in financial management, which is called cost volume profit analysis. You usually do in managerial accounting. It would be a nice introduction, maybe next time, but next time I'll just focus on the chapter 9, the last chapter. Is good enough?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you.